Cirque Series. Come on, everybody. The U.S. Mountain Running Championships 2024. And that was some footage from the starting area, starting line. Really just a beautiful, beautiful setting. You can't beat it out there in it just really quite steep mountains. And today, actually yesterday, in case you missed it, upper right hand corner, we published the full vlog. So it's a long one. Get your popcorn out and sit down and enjoy that. I'll link to it down below in upper right hand corner in case you missed the vlog yesterday. But I did promise that I wanted to break down the race for all of you. So that's what we're gonna do right here, right now. But QD, what is your next race? All right, what are you shooting for? What are you training for? I know it's crazy. A lot of people are already ramping up for their fall marathons, building their volume. So it's exciting. But what is your next race? The distance, the surface, and the location. All right, I knew in my mind, I knew it was going to be a cross-country feel, but in a mountain setting. So fast off the start. Too fast for me. Like, these guys were moving and I was like, you know what, my legs, first of all, okay, here's the bib number from Leadville. All right, bib number from Kendall Mountain, bib number from Snowbird. So 3 weekends in a row. I don't do that, but again, we're just coming back to this racing thing, and it was fun to do 3 weekends back to back to back. I'm not racing this weekend, but 15 miles, 12 miles, 8 miles. That's one of the reasons I knew it would be fast out of the start, and you actually don't do that. And I've talked about this many, many times over the last 5 or 6 years here on this channel. You build your racing distance. So you go, if you're getting ready for a marathon, you do a 10-mile or maybe half marathon tune-up race. If you're getting ready for a 10K, you do 3Ks and 5Ks. I'm thinking more like track, 10K. You do 3Ks and 5, even 1500s before kind of building your leg speed, getting ready for that test. So this was the opposite of what you should do, but guess what? That's how the cookie crumbled in 2024 for me, for mountain racing. So it was a stacked field, USA Mountain Running Championships. I knew there was going to be some guys there that were quite a bit younger and, yes, faster than me, especially at that distance. But patience, all right? I showed it yesterday, but again, going from, I was at about 16th place at about the half-mile mark, and moving your way up. Oh, that's the other thing. It was toasty, all right? I'm not a big like heat runner. I don't, here in Colorado, our temperatures are pretty tame, pretty mild in the summertime even, and we don't get any humidity. Now, there was no humidity in Snowbird, but it was warm, and you felt it out there. Sometimes I go right through the aid stations. I did not go through the aid stations, especially for an 8-mile race. Like, that's not very far from me. But today, or on race day, I had to stop and get water. So thank you to all the volunteers out there at the Cirque race. But I just start picking them off, and I knew I would pick off many. I didn't know how many, because I just know what altitude does. So the race started, should have mentioned this at the beginning, the race started at 8,000 feet and tops out, I think, at about 11,200 roughly. I'll try and put it on the screen. So there you go. So I knew by the top there would be a little bit of carnage, especially with the heat. So we're passing, it's beautiful. A cirque is a rock formation on a mountain. So that's why it's called the Cirque Series. So all of the races in this series, which I'd recommend you go check out if you're looking for shorter, faster, steeper mountain racing. All right, so that's what a cirque is, C-I-R-Q-E. So we're going, mile 3, mile 4, but by mile about, I was gonna say about mile 4.5. It's not exactly in my head where we were on the mountain, but I've moved up to about 7th place, and I can see 5th place ahead of me. All right, so we're topping off, and thanks to everybody all the photographers out there taking great pictures, amazing. So we top off, and you begin the descent, and it's steep. And it's dangerous, and a runner did fall this past weekend, and it was bad. I'm 39, and I'm not an expert at downhill running, but I do have a decent amount of confidence going fast on technical downhill. and especially when my legs are really fresh. And so I felt it. I was like, okay, I feel confident, even though this is gnarly and you can see it on your screen. Like it's no joking. And the biggest thing I'm thinking, obviously, I want to get home to the family safely, but you're just like, if you do fall out there, everyone, just please, like, your arms, they will heal, but your head, just try to protect your head out there if you're doing some of these races. I'm not joking about that. So by about mile 5, so 3 miles to go, sure enough, I caught Cam. Cam's a great mountain runner who beat me the week before at Kendall Mountain. So I managed to catch up to Cam, and then you really begin the steep downhill. At some point, we're sent off course through this rock boulder field. There's some snow. It's just gnarly. It's fun. But again, you just got to be aware of your surroundings as you're going through these settings. So you're breathing, you're working, you're at 11,000 feet, and then you end through a tunnel. You go through a tunnel, and then it's a sprint to the finish. Like literally, it's 2 miles to go, and it is a combination of service road and trail. And sure enough, thanks to Strava, I'm looking at it right now, in certain segments I PR'd. It's amazing. I PR'd. Now, 5 years ago, I won this race. That was the last time I was there. And I was in first place by quite a bit. So I don't think I was pushing as hard on the downhill. And so I actually PR'd many of the segments on the downhill in Snowbird. So that kind of feels good. Like, didn't get the win. So I was in 5th on top and ended up in 7th. All right. I would have loved to get, podium, top 3, top 5 is kind of nice. 7th, so 2 guys fast. I mean, they blew by me. I mean, they were just fast. I held one of them off for about a mile, but sure enough, he caught me, and then another guy caught me with about a mile to, half mile to a mile to go. So I ended up in 7th, but for the 3rd weekend in a row of racing, I feel like it was a good effort. And now it's like back to training. I know I'm not in like my peak fitness right now. Summer is still like, it's not early, but it's we're not there yet. We haven't been up in the 14ers as much in June and July as I might typically have. So it's coming. It's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks before we're really ready to rock and roll for some races in August. Italia. I'm coming for you. More details on that very soon. That will probably be my next race, is over in Italy late August. And then, of course, Pikes Peak in September. So the racing is back. It's fun to get some bib numbers back on the singlet and let it rip. That's a brief recap. I could go on and on and on. No falls. I felt strong on the uphill, but not like epic. Again, the legs just didn't have the pop. Mountain run, like when you have the pop, you got the pop. And literally, like, you just kind of prance up the mountain. That was not the case. Like, I was kind of digging just to get to the top, and that's okay. That's part of racing and part of the whole experience. I'm going to stop there. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Can't wait to read your comments. What's your next race? And keep buttering that bread. I'm actually plotting out more of my summer 2024 FKTs and racing as we speak. It's happening, and we do it. We're doing it. All right. Keep going, everyone. We'll, of course, toss it to the race vlog from this past weekend right there. All right. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other.